You know the phrase, if these walls could talk? If that's true, our first destination could speak volumes. You know, in our effort to find new interesting places around to explore, sometimes we overlook what's in our own backyard. Well, like the Tennessee State Capitol. You may not hear the walls talk there, but you will see a lot of architectural beauty and hear some interesting, unusual stories. More than a century and a half after the final brick was put in place, the state capitol still dominates the Nashville skyline. Jim Hubler, senior curator at the Tennessee State Museum, explains that while the imposing structure was set in stone, its location sure wasn't. That is, until politics, appropriately enough, came into play.
In 1843, Governor Lean Jimmy Jones declared that the Tennessee General Assembly must choose a permanent capital of the state. So the legislature scrambled. There was competition among the cities of Tennessee, and Nashville won. Part of the reason Nashville won was it was on a navigable river, so it was easy to get here. And to cap it off, Mayor Powhatan Maxey paid $30,000 for this hill and offered it as bait to the legislature if they would choose Nashville as the capital. They did, and they formed a capital commission which did a national search for an architect, and they hired William Strickland from Philadelphia. Strickland came here, he drew up plans for a Greek revival style building, and on the 4th of July, 1845, they laid the cornerstone to this structure. It was the finest thing he had designed. He literally would put his heart into it. He designed 2 crypts in the building, and he is literally in the building to this day.
While there's no doubt that Strickland's resting place is a masterpiece, you'll find works of art surrounding the Capitol as well.
The oldest statue on the grounds is the statue of General Andrew Jackson, commanding the American forces at the Battle of New Orleans. The other statues around the building include the tomb of President Mrs. Polk and a bronze statue, larger than life, of President Andrew Johnson. So the 3 Tennessee presidents are on the front lawn.
Taking our tour inside, we enter the hallowed halls of Tennessee's political past and present.
Down on the ground floor, we have the offices that were originally occupied by the comptroller, the treasurer, the secretary of state, and the governor. They're all still in the building down there.
As the saying goes, those who love the law probably shouldn't watch it being made. But the beauty of this building has to make the process a little more palatable.
On the upper floor, the ceilings are 42 feet high. It's filled with light with large windows, and 2 of the original gasoliers are still hanging in the hallway. The Senate chamber still has its original gas light in it. The Senate also has beautiful marble columns, which are East Tennessee marble. There's white marble, red marble, and black marble composing the capitals, the shaft, and the bases to the columns. That's original to the chamber as well. Across the hall is the original State Library chamber. It is the most colorful room in the Capitol. It has very elaborate cast iron in it with cast iron railings. It has a beautiful spiral staircase so the librarian could go upstairs and retrieve books for the members. And it's the most colorful and I think beautiful room in the Capitol building. The House chamber has 99 seats for the 99 members of the General Assembly. The original marble screen behind the Speaker's rostrum is still there with Roman fasces. The fasces is a symbol of unity with the Roman motto, "In unity there is strength." Think of the irony of that as they're installing that. The legislature meets there in 1853. And just 2 years before that, they've held a secession conference in Nashville to talk about tearing the country asunder over states' rights and slavery.
The specter of secession would continue to haunt the Capitol until it finally tore our nation apart in 1861. As Nashville became the first Confederate capital to fall the following year, a pro-Union Tennessean would take over state government and the Capitol itself.
Andrew Johnson, did not resign his seat when his state seceded from the Union. He remained in Congress. Lincoln rewarded that loyalty by naming him the military governor of occupied Tennessee. Capitol Hill was renamed Fort Andrew Johnson. He swore that he would not see the city fall into Confederate hands, and he'd rather see the city fall down around him rather than give up. So he even fortified Capitol Hill.
More than a half century after the war, Nashville would once again take the national stage to play one of the most important roles in American history.
In 1920, the entire United States focused on this building to determine whether or not women would ever vote in American history. It comes down to, if Tennessee ratifies it, it will become a national amendment. If Tennessee does not, it doesn't have a prayer. The debate goes on for days in there, and it finally comes down to two men changing their votes. Then one of the speaker's aides decides, maybe if I change my vote, we can have this whole thing thrown out. I can say, oops, I goofed up, let's do it again. So he changes his vote. And then Harry Byrne is the youngest member of the Tennessee General Assembly. He's 21, and he votes against it. But his mother is watching the debate, and his mother is a suffragist. She wants to vote. So the night before what will be the final vote, she sends him a note and says, just give us a chance. So he changes his vote. Over half of our present population becomes a voter because of things that happened in this building.
Which just goes to show that no matter who's making the calls in the Capitol, Mother knows best.